Rain fell steadily over the runway, silver droplets sliding down the motionless jet that sat like a fallen bird. Evelyn Hart, the billionaire CEO known for her brilliance and ruthlessness, stood by the window, her reflection sharp against the glass. The jet was grounded for 3 days, every expert had failed to fix it, and her patience had run dry. No one could solve what seemed impossible. Until that night, when a drenched man in worn coveralls walked quietly into the hangar. Jack Turner didn't look like a man who belonged in her world. His boots were muddy, his hands rough from years of labor, and yet his eyes held a quiet determination that silenced the laughter of the expensive engineers standing around. He was a single father, a local mechanic, called in as a last resort. Evelyn didn't expect miracles, but she needed hope. "You have 1 hour," she said coldly. Jack nodded, kneeling beside the massive engine, placing his hand gently on the metal. "Engines talk," he said quietly. "You just have to listen when they cry." The simplicity of his words made her pause. He didn't rely on computers or assistants, just instinct and understanding. And as he worked, she noticed the care in every movement, the precision born not from arrogance but from love, the kind of love only someone who had lost and learned could have. When she asked softly why he was helping her when so many others had failed, he smiled faintly. "I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for someone waiting at home, my daughter." The storm outside echoed the one within her. For years Evelyn had buried her emotions behind power, after losing someone she once cared for, a man who believed in kindness more than ambition. Watching Jack reminded her of what she had forgotten: humanity. By dawn, the jet came to life with a roar that filled the hangar. Evelyn stared in disbelief as the engine hummed perfectly. Jack only smiled tiredly and packed his tools, ready to leave. "Sometimes," he said quietly, "machines break because they're pushed too hard without care. People do too." That line stayed with her long after he left. Days later, fate brought them together again, but in a completely different world. Evelyn's company was hosting a charity event in one of her skyscrapers. While moving through the halls, she heard a commotion. A janitor had accidentally spilled water over her laptop. She rushed toward the scene, frustration boiling, until she saw the man's face. Jack. He froze, equally stunned, holding a mop in one hand, panic in his eyes. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, I didn't see," he started, but stopped when Evelyn's assistant pulled the laptop from the puddle. The screen flickered, showing the last open file, a folder labeled "Emily, my daughter's treatment." Evelyn's breath caught. The billionaire who had everything, wealth, power, prestige, suddenly saw the truth. The mechanic who saved her jet was struggling to save his little girl's life. Jack's daughter was sick, and he had been working day and night, mechanic by day, janitor by night, to afford her medical care. Evelyn's anger dissolved instantly, replaced by guilt and compassion. "Why didn't you tell me?" she whispered. Jack looked away. "Because I don't need pity. I just need time." That night, Evelyn couldn't sleep. The image of him mopping the floor haunted her, a man with enough brilliance to fix her jet now reduced to cleaning her floors to pay for his daughter's medicine. She realized something she had forgotten long ago: real strength wasn't in status, but in sacrifice. The next morning, she went to his small apartment on the city's edge. She found him cooking soup while his little girl sat wrapped in a blanket, painting small paper planes. Her smile was tired but bright. "Daddy says planes are like dreams," she told Evelyn shyly. "They can go anywhere if you fix them right." That single sentence melted Evelyn's heart. From that day forward, she made a promise, not just to help them, but to change her own life. She offered Jack a position at her aviation company, not out of charity but because she saw what others couldn't: heart, precision, loyalty, and brilliance hidden beneath hardship. Together, they rebuilt not only engines, but a vision of what her company could be: human, compassionate, and driven by purpose, not profit. Evelyn grew close to Jack's daughter, bringing her books, painting kits, and hope. The girl's laughter filled the spaces in Evelyn's life that money never could. Slowly, Jack and Evelyn's bond deepened, from respect to friendship, from friendship to something unspoken yet undeniable. Then one fateful day, during a test flight of her company's new jet model, an unexpected storm hit. The aircraft lost communication midair. Panic filled the control tower, except for one man who refused to give up. Jack's hands trembled as he guided the emergency procedures, his voice calm over the radio, helping Evelyn's team land safely. When she finally stepped out of the jet, soaked and shaken, her eyes searched for him, and when they met, no words were needed. "You saved me again," she said softly. Jack smiled. "You were never broken, Evelyn." You just needed someone to remind you how to fly. The rain poured again, just like the first night they met. But this time, it wasn't a storm, it was cleansing. The billionaire and the single dad stood beneath it, two souls from different worlds now bound by something stronger than fate, compassion. Months later, the world came to know their story, not as billionaire and worker, but as two people who changed each other's lives. Evelyn launched a foundation under Jack's daughter's name, supporting children's medical care. And in every speech she gave, she ended with the same words he once told her: sometimes, what's broken doesn't need to be replaced. It just needs to be understood. And somewhere in the distance, a jet soared across the sky, not just fixed, but flying free, carrying with it a story of humility, love, and second chances.